Clay's Corner Dynasty Fantasy Football ADP. I'm Russell Clay. I'm a staff writer over at fantasyguru.com. Today we're going to be looking at Fantasy Football ADP for Dynasty League specifically, why we look at it, what is useful about it, how to use it as a resource, where to get it, and also, just kind of look at some of the players and what the early offseason is telling us about the Dynasty landscape. As always, if you guys like this video or find anything valuable in it, please give it a like and subscribe. Other than that, let's fire away and get into it. What's going on, everyone? I figured we could just run through some regular Dynasty stuff, look through some Dynasty ADP, and talk about resources. Dynasty League Football, this is a place where I wrote when I was beginning my writing career. They are a great resource for Fantasy Football ADP. These are mostly done by Ryan McDowell, who every month asks to get people into Dynasty mock drafts, and then he sort of collects these drafts as they kind of finish and gets our ADP. ADP is average draft position. And so we get a ranking, but we also get what a general Dynasty draft is going to look like. So it's really fun to look at this stuff, and I use it as not a way to make trades, but a baseline for what a player should be valued. Obviously, if you're going into a trade negotiation, every player on each Dynasty team is going to be, in most cases, unless someone's taking over a team, players are on teams that the owner wants them to be on. So the price is usually a little higher than what we see from an average ADP, but I tend to look at average draft position just to say, okay, am I too biased? Can I be reasonable here? What is the actual market value versus how I view the player? And sometimes I'm so much higher on a player that a deal won't get done, and I think that's another point that can be talked about another day. But let's take a look at this. The first round, not too many surprises. I don't think we're going to be shocked by seeing Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Najee Harris. Swift kind of surprising there. That's pretty high for me. I would not take him over Kyle Pitts, CeeDee Lamb, or A.J. Brown, but I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Cooper Kupp, that almost feels a little high to me as well at 7 overall, but, I guess we can keep looking through this. When you get a guy like Cooper Kupp, who's producing at such a high clip, the age doesn't matter as much. If you're drafting Cooper Kupp, you're likely trying to be a contender this year. So in a couple, 3-4 years, you're not going to care that he's 30 because you're likely heading towards a rebuild anyway. So if you're drafting Cooper Kupp, just know you're going for more of a win now build. I don't usually start my Dynasty teams with a win now build. That's why I'm not a big fan of him there. But if you say, all right, I want to win in year 1, maybe get year 2 out of it as well, and then head on to a rebuild in year 3, year 4. That's fine with me. Just know what you're getting into. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown. And this is where we're going to have a really tricky offseason. Because Christian McCaffrey, if he is healthy, he's not too far behind Jonathan Taylor for RB1 in Dynasty. But he has been injured the last 2 years. We haven't really gotten anything out of him. And he is 3 years older than Jonathan Taylor. Some of these guys can produce into their mid to late 30s. In fact, just about every crop of running backs that comes through the NFL as we talk about landscapes. And of course, we do that a lot on Clay's Corner. Talk about the full landscape, what it looks like as these players all progress as sort of a blob throughout their entire careers. Some of these good running backs stick around till their late 20s, maybe even early 30s. So we don't know who those are going to be. Doesn't seem like it's going to be Christian McCaffrey based on what we've seen the last couple years. However, it's not totally unprecedented for a guy to be banged up in the early parts of his career and then, transform into a more durable piece in the second half of their career. So McCaffrey's a weird one, but I'm not, if someone wants to take him in the first round of a startup, I'm not going to love that, but I also understand. We all understand the upside you're getting with a Christian McCaffrey. So, there we go. This is another one, Javonte Williams, a little controversial for me. Let's take a look at Javonte Williams. So he's still 21. He's going to turn 22 before the season's over. Had a great rookie season. 1,219 yards from scrimmage and 7 touchdowns. On just 246 touches. So very explosive. We saw that and, did the most he could with a sort of mediocre offensive situation. I get it. But this feels a little high for me and a little preemptive. I do like Javonte Williams. I like the talent. But would I rather have him than DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Waddle? I would not, personally. And, I'd put him more down in this range. I'd probably take T. Higgins over him as well. And Devontae Adams if you're going for a win-now build. Once you get to Dalvin Cook, I could see the argument there. I'm not really loving Dalvin Cook at this age. So, yeah. It's kind of like Cook and McCaffrey. Again, this class is kind of shifting together. Eckler, Mixon, Henry, these guys are all heading into their mid to late 20s, and we don't know how this is going to shake out. So I like to go safe in the first couple rounds, and that usually means wide receivers. I say this because I've been burned before. Alvin Kamara, this tough. It's tough to fully jump into these middle-aged running backs unless it's a McCaffrey. When there's so many other young pieces in these ranges. So, let's look at a few more guys here and then we will wrap it up for today. But, Deontay Johnson, kind of a weird one in terms of his production the last couple years has been great, but it certainly doesn't feel steady. He is 25, so he's pretty young for a wide receiver overall, sort of in that middle-aged category as well, but we all know wide receivers last a little longer than running backs, so I'm fine with him here. Joe Mixon, as mentioned, really getting those featured touches. It's just round 2 is really hard to evaluate, and then, once that tier drops of established guys, you get into Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, sort of that tier of unknown. We don't really know what we're getting. We do with Gibson. He hasn't been, he hasn't been fully healthy in his first couple years. He's kind of been banged up both years, but he actually produced really well for, third round pick out of Memphis. He's produced 2 seasons with 10 plus touchdowns and 1,000 plus yards from scrimmage. Only 23, entering his age 24 season. I kind of like him there. I think he's a nice value, and a player that should sustain himself. Great production profile. Sorry, athletic profile. Production profile was very strange at Memphis, but really high-end athlete, and he's shown that so far. Um, Again, this is going to be a really weird couple rounds in these startups. I might try to trade back. Stephon Diggs, Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Chris Godwin, David Montgomery. Just a lot of guys that will help you win this year, but it's hard to know what their long-term outlook is at this point. We love Travis Kelce, but the guy's 32 years old at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I think this stuff is really fun to look at. And, I think this is a great resource. You can go through, they have up to the 200s, I believe. Yeah, they go down to 240, 303 overall. These are guys that I think are interesting, and I think ADP is a really valuable tool. So if you haven't checked out this ADP, definitely go check it out at dynastyleaguefootball.com. They have great ADP. They have awesome other resources as well. Just one of the many resources you can use to improve your Dynasty game. I thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you like this video or found anything informative about it, please give it a like and also subscribe to the channel. It helps me boost my potential on YouTube and motivates me to do more of these videos. So as always, I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time.